Welcome to our first lesson. These are designed for regular parents with no experience to teach their kids basic, fundamental mixed martial arts while spending quality time together. The first thing you want to work on is a good fighting stance. This is my student Aaron. Notice how his hands are up, his chin's down, elbows are tucked, and his dominant leg is forward, shoulder width apart. That's how you want to stand. To practice his stance and footwork, get a rope or use a crack in the ground and just have your child shuffle forwards and backwards. Make sure their feet do not touch the middle line. They keep their elbows in and that foot forward, not stepping. Try and have them keep their eyes up and their hands tight. Developing a good fighting stance and footwork is key for all the other techniques to be effective. Next, you want to teach your child sound blocking techniques. To do this, just tell them to shell up like a turtle, protecting their chin but keeping their hands up, elbows tight, and chin down. When they block punches to the face, they want to flare their elbows up like they're combing their hair. When they block punches to the body, they'll want to tuck their elbows in and crunch to the side, and protecting their face in the middle by bringing the hands together. A fun little drill you can do with your child is get in a fighting stance and slapping them. As you can see, Aaron's mom, Carly, one of my instructors, is slapping her child around. Make sure they stay in their fighting stance, keeping their hands up. Make sure that they don't extend their hands too far out. They want to stay super tight with their elbows close to their chin. The biggest thing is never dropping their hands. Next is a basic punch, the jab and straight. Make sure your child has a tight fist and they don't put their thumbs inside their hands. Notice how Aaron turns his fist all the way horizontal. His first punch is a jab real quick. His second punch is a straight and he pivots on the ball of his foot, like so. Make sure their knees are bent so they have good balance. You don't necessarily have to have any equipment. They could just hit your hands, but now have them practice throwing a simple jab and straight. Their left hand should hit your left hand and their right hand should hit your right hand. Make sure their knees are bent so they keep their balance and always keeping their hands up. This is also a good chance for you to work on your child learning their left and their right. Especially young kids, they get this mixed up. So when they throw their jab, that's their left hand, and then their right is their straight. Make sure that they don't duck their eyes while striking. This is natural to flinch and look away, but the sooner you can get them desensitized and block correctly, that's key. Aaron kind of has a funny habit of sticking his tongue out. Make sure your kid does not do that, as they might bite their tongue off and it flops on the ground. Next is a simple front kick. We'll just do the rear leg. Don't even bother with the front leg today. Knee comes up, snaps it out, and then sets it back down. They're striking with the ball of the foot. If they hit with the top of the foot or the toes, they risk injuring their ankle. I put a piece of tape on the ground as a reference for Aaron to keep a wide stance, and you can do the same thing. Now you can have them strike the mitt, a pillow, just making sure that they really hit with the correct surface area, which is the ball of their foot. Knee comes up, snap it out, snap it back, set it back down in that wide fighting stance. Make sure your child also keeps their hands up while throwing that front kick. Now you can put it all together with a simple mitt work drill, throwing the 2 punches, a kick, and then block. Stay in that fighting stance, jab straight, front kick, block your face, move around. So make sure your child stays a little tighter when they throw their blocks. Instead of extending their hands out where there's big gaps where someone can strike them in the chin, flare their elbows up tighter. This is something you can work on. See how Aaron's hands kind of flare out? If their hands flare out, Keep striking them. Make sure they keep tight like a turtle. Once they can throw their combinations, stay in a good stance, block soundly with their eyes up, chin down, then you'll know it's time to move on to something more intermediate. Finally, always have a fun little game or drill for them to play afterwards as a reward system. Here Aaron is doing a cone shuffle in a fighting stance with his classmate Naya, followed by 2-footed bunny hops over a small obstacle. Make sure their heels don't touch the ground so they develop explosive power in their calves. This will be key in good balance and footwork. And that's it. High five from the kids. I hope you and your child enjoy this lesson. You could structure the time limits however you want. Again, the technique doesn't have to be perfect. This is their first lesson. And at the end of the day, if you and your child are having quality time together and they're getting in good shape and you're having fun, that's the number one goal.